We're running around the country looking for historic stuff. When we find what we're looking for, we just can't get enough. We're redneck archaeologists and we don't need no rest. We'll do everything it takes to finish out our quest. Redneck Archaeology.
What are the Twin Sister Canyons?
Yep.
So we've got a tip on where the Twin Sister Canyons might be. So Pat, Jackson, Mia, why don't y'all go interview our source?
Hello, my name is Bill James, William A. Bill James, if you would. But I was born in 1947 in Meridian, Mississippi, and I entered the Army when I was 17 years old. I went into airborne infantry initially and ran around the world, eating snakes, jumping out of airplanes, running through jungles and such stuff, having a merry old time at a young age. And when I decided to re-enlist after I was married and settled down a little bit, I decided that that sort of life wasn't going to be conducive to a long life. And I was recruited into the U.S. Army Flight Training School at Fort Walters, Texas. It's where I did my primary flight training. And in Fort Rucker, Alabama, where I completed my Huey transition in tactics. I spent 21 and a half years total service in the military. I'm a retired Chief Warrant Officer and a Master Army Aviator. The Twin Sisters could have been bronze or brass. I guess the foundry was capable of pouring that type of material, but their specialty was cast iron, and I doubt very seriously if the Twin Sisters were anything but cast iron cannons, which would have been common for that era, and especially that size cannon. Documents, letters, books written, things like that, a lot of conjecture, but as far as we can tell, at the end of the Texas Revolution, 1835, the Twin Sisters were used more or less ceremonially in the Houston area, in the Harrisburg area, around San Jacinto and places like that. They were moved around Texas and used for ceremonies. 4th of July, they probably shot a salute to celebrate some special event, and they were just salute cannons. They were given a place of reverence in the state of Texas because of the part they played in the Revolution. We really don't know exactly, but what we're fairly certain of is they were probably confiscated at the end of the Civil War in 1865. And all cannons, all heavy field pieces, were supposed to be confiscated and shipped back to the North and keep them out of the hands of possible resurgent Confederate troops that were, talking about possibly sort of restarting the Civil War. Take all the heavy artillery and the war-making equipment away. The story goes they were on a barge to be towed up Buffalo Bayou, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Buffalo Bayou, one of the bayous here in the Houston area. And a group of Confederate soldiers had found out which barge they were on, a very small group, and they were able to slip out to this barge. It was lightly guarded, and they recovered the two cannon, the Twin Sisters. They were relatively small, but still not easily transported for any distance. And they removed them from this barge and buried them close to where they liberated them from. And so they are supposedly buried somewhere near Buffalo Bayou, probably not that deep and probably not that far away from the bayou itself.
Howdy, I'm Jackson Burns. I'm the Redneck Archaeologist, and right behind me you see the old BB&C and what was later crossing with the Galveston-Harrisburg Railroad. This was what they called the old Harrisburg Depot. It was right behind me.
If they don't do them.
Alright, we're over by the railroad bridge at the old Harrisburg Railroad Bridge. They're taking off right now. J-Bob's getting run over. We got all kinds of water moccasins and monsters and snakes and things all over the place. And the train's moving. We're right under the bridge, almost where the old bridge was, the old embankments. This is where it all happened at. We are on the search for the Twin Sisters cannons. This goes off to Galveston that way. That goes off into Harrisburg that way. It was two different gauge railroads. The one that went into Galveston was standard gauge, and the one that went over to the old BBVC and dock and depot over there was a different gauge completely. So this is where Dr. Graves said that they found the Twin Sisters cannons. Now, was that true or not? We don't know. But when he was asked, but two people asked him later on and said that no, Dr. Graves said that it was 2 miles that away, straight down that road. Now, would they have got the railroad, would they have come up here from Galveston, got off the train right here, and saw the cannons? I don't think so. And if they did, would they have stole the cannons and taken them 200 or 2 miles that away? Originally we searched 400 yards up this way because that's what they said. They said that they took them 400 yards from the depot, and that's where we looked, was back off over here, up along Bray's Bayou. Well, evidently that was wrong. I don't see them pushing it 2 miles down Harrisburg that was occupied by Yankees, even if it was in the middle of the night. I don't think they were here. I think they had already been loaded up by Yankees. They probably saw them. They might have been, when they got off the train here, it might have been on the train, or it might have been a prior train that came up. Dr. Graves and his men got off, probably saw them, maybe followed them, waited, see where they were going, because sentimental value was so high. Found out that the Yankees were going to transport them over to the barge, to the old BB&C depot, and load them onto a barge on Buffalo Bayou and take them out. Now that's what I think happened. I believe that's where we're at. So why, if that's the case, then we're even closer to that cemetery. Here we're 2 miles away from it. And the mystery group says it's not that away. It says it's adamant that Dr. Graves said it was back there. And Dr. Graves always looked at the Milby brickyard. He always asked Charles Milby to before he ever looked and searched, he wanted to talk to Charles Milby so he could get on and have access to his land. I'm Jackson Burns signing off at the old Harrisburg Depot in Harrisburg, Texas, birthplace of Texas.